Hi everyone and welcome back to Investigative Selfism. Happy 2-year COVID anniversary is what I said to myself very recently, remembering how exactly 2 years ago I was in a cinema with my colleagues, my friends, and our company at the time announced that, you know what, we won't be likely working from home for like a day. It's gonna be at least a month. And that month obviously turned into, for some companies, more than a year, for some companies, 2 years, but it was almost exactly 2 years ago. So it got really stuck in my head, and I thought, yep, that is my COVID anniversary. Not necessarily when I got COVID the first time, but when it started affecting my life in a very direct way. And I thought, okay, almost exactly a year ago, I released an episode on the learnings of this pandemic. I was saying that obviously being in a situation that is literally new to most of us, unless once again you're very old and you lived through a Spanish flu, which I bet was a horrible experience, but it was a new experience to most of us. And by default, if it's a new experience, there's no way that we wouldn't learn something from it. So I was encouraging us to take a look at so much of that discomfort. Hey, discomfort, the topic of my this season of Investigative Selfism. So take a look at our discomfort and find the gems in it. No mud, no lotus, as a Buddhist saying goes, and oh my God, there has been so much mud. And I will link to that episode. But now, I was thinking, okay, another year has passed, and depending on where you live, it's quite likely that your country has been opening up, at least a little bit. So what are the learnings or reminders after that second year of COVID that I wanted to share with you? And I thought of 3 things. So I'm not going to talk about all the ways how you can energize yourselves and all the things that you are still in control even when you're under a pandemic, because I've talked about it a lot. I even had a 7-day challenge just on that. It's still on my website, so you can find it there. So I will skip all of that because that would be a lot to review, but everything's there on my website and in my podcast episodes, yes. But so the new learnings or reminders that I wanted to share with you today as the world has been opening up. One, I hope that's how most of us are feeling, is the importance of gratitude, or a wave of gratitude that I hope you all have experienced. So that rediscovery of joy in simple things, right? Maybe going to the cinema, maybe seeing a live performance, obviously seeing our loved ones, our friends after a long time of not seeing them. Or even, you know what, even if you're not seeing them, but you see them do stuff that, you know, they enjoy and they're back, you know, outdoors and doing things. What a joy it has been. So the simplicity of experiences that can still bring us joy, that we should still appreciate. I understand it's not even a learning, but I think it's a good reminder, if anything, that there is a lot of joy in those seemingly simple things because we just did not have them for so long. So that's one thing. The second one is the necessity that I bet some of you have experienced of relearning how to draw or set boundaries. I remember I was talking to a friend and she was saying, you know what, I was secretly really enjoying my COVID routine, and now suddenly all of these invitations and, you know, many people that I want to see, yes, and how to create I'm not going to say the new normal, but yeah, maybe in a way, yes. Like how to create a new routine that matches the learnings and discoveries of COVID, how much socialization you want to have, what are the people you want to see, how you want your social life to look now that you can actually have it, and how to say no to what doesn't serve you anymore, maybe never served you. Has that been difficult for me personally? Oh, yes. But just like you, hopefully, I am relearning that as well and constantly checking myself am I being honest? Is this something I really want? Is this activity something I want to engage in? Because hey, if I say yes, but I actually don't want to do this, what is the energy I'm bringing here? And just using a couple of tips like you are allowed to say no without explaining yourself. Or you're allowed to say no when the reason is simply that you don't want to do something. And if you want to say that that is the reason, that's also good enough. So various things, right, when it comes to boundaries. And I hope you've been conscious about that. And I hope that you continue to consciously design your life. Because I understand it can be difficult. And for me, it hasn't been easy either. And then the last learning or a reminder is something that you might think, well, it's kind of undoing everything I've just said now, that the world is opening up and we had the second year of COVID and things are different. We'll see. But that third reminder is that, yes, although the world has been opening up, hopefully you've been doing a bit more and hopefully had access to a bit more compared to what you had access a year ago, that life is coming back to something that resembles pre-COVID times. I do hope that. Well, ideally something even better. But I'd say we still have to remember that we're still operating from this base of 2 years of COVID. Maybe you're still working from home, like I am, for example. And because of that, you're not getting that everyday interaction, those small doses of various neurotransmitters that you would get otherwise when you actually interact with people. Maybe you're still not back to a fitness, let's say, routine that you used to have before COVID. So you're not actually as energized also because of that, because you don't have it. So we're still standing, however life is, on those 2 years of a pandemic. And if something doesn't feel right, let's say, if you don't feel as enthusiastic or energized or just not how you used to feel, hopefully that was you feeling better, we still have to be gentle and kind with ourselves. So that compassion that we hopefully have, it has to include ourselves, right? Self-compassion, so important for so many things. And now when things are getting better, I will say, if something sucks, that might be because, we're still in the pandemic. It's still not over. And we can allow ourselves not to feel great still. Like, that's fine. I hope you're feeling fine. But if there's something that something isn't working, I'm not telling you not to investigate. Why are you feeling a certain way? What's causing it? No, go ahead. Deconstruct, investigate, name the feelings, see what happens. But operating from a base of self-compassion. So I hope that you're appreciating the small things, because that's what life consists of, really, when you think about it. So the newly discovered appreciation for the small things in life, setting healthy boundaries, which is always difficult. I'm going to link to some resources in the description of this episode, because why not? And as always, I hope that you're being kind to yourselves and others.